What? I hit the wrong button. Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome back to my show. This is the Brittney Reacts Show. My name is Brittney. On this show, we talk about entertainment news, movie news. It's really more just a discussion with the audience between me and you guys about different fun entertainment topics that I find interesting. How are you guys doing? Hi Green Otterbox, hi CD Woods, hi the Modern Designer, hi the Yellow Umbrella. Hello. You guys should be able to hear me. No. Okay. Well, we have a lot to go over, is what I'm saying. I hope you guys can hear me now. I don't know when the audio went out, but I hope you can at least hear, or at least you saw the news stories that we're going to cover today. Sorry about that. Can you hear me now? Okay, you guys can hear me now. Alright. Occasionally you might hear some technical issues. I'm sorry about that. I'm working on it. Moving on to the first thing, so we're just gonna jump straight into it. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, the first thing that I did want to talk about, of course, is that Barbie has become the highest grossing movie of 2023 domestically. So that means it's done better so far than the Super Mario Bros. Movie domestically. I mean, again, that's huge. The cover girl says, honestly, it's not a Britney stream without tech issues. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm hoping that's not going to forever be the case. But anyway, I think that, again, this is huge. I think it probably will also pass Super Mario Bros. Movie globally as well. But I think it's pretty impressive that it's at least passed it domestically. Is anyone really surprised at this point? Did anyone really see this coming? Barbie becoming the biggest movie of the year? Brianna says we love to see it. I know, Prince, it dethroned Mario. Mario! Josh Loves Movies says Barbie and Mario are the top movies of the year. I know. Why do you guys think it's Mario and Barbie that became such huge movies? Why do you think it's those movies in particular that got, like, casual movie-going audiences to actually want to see them over other movies that didn't do so well? What was it about these two movies specifically? Amy says, I saw this coming. Okay. Frankie Wants a Snack says, not surprising, but awesome. Oh, Rhea Rue thinks it's nostalgia. So people are just feeling nostalgia for Mario and Barbie. That could be it. Maiden says, I did see it coming. It's literally Barbie with the cast like that. I think once I saw the first full-length trailer, I knew this was going to be a hit. That trailer was everything. It was everything that I think, that I've been, like, saying I think Hollywood needs to make more of. And it was all shown in one trailer. It had a good hook. It had a good premise, good cast, good visuals, good concept. It had everything there. So I knew it was going to be a hit once I saw that trailer. Kasaki says, not surprised, Barbie and Mario are culturally ingrained across the world. Very true. I guess we should do a stream one day where we try to figure out, like, what other IP is as culturally ingrained as something like Barbie or Mario. Because what other stuff can, like, I guess we'll get to this in the member question in a minute, but I'm wondering, like, what other property could Hollywood adapt that would get the same amount of attention as something like Mario or Barbie. I was having a bit of difficulties coming up with something, so we're gonna get to that member question in a second. But I did want to bring this up, and remember, because obviously Barbie and Oppenheimer came out on the same weekend, Barbie didn't get any IMAX screens because Oppenheimer got all the IMAX screens. Well, it looks like Barbie is bringing back Oppenheimer. Not Oppenheimer. Barbie. The movie theaters are bringing back Barbie to play in IMAX theaters, which is pretty incredible. I'm happy that they're doing that. Obviously, they're only doing that because Barbie was a massive hit. But now at least for 1 week. You get to go see Barbie in IMAX if you really wanted to go see it in that format, but didn't get the chance to because Oppenheimer had it. Is anyone going to go back and see Barbie again just to go see it in IMAX, or do you feel like you've already seen it enough? I have been thinking about maybe wanting to see it a third time, so if I do see it a third time, I probably will see it in IMAX, but I don't know yet. Anyone going to do it again? Or see it again? Maiden says, as soon as Barbie stepped out of her heels with her feet staying tiptoed, I knew it'd be a huge hit. Yeah, that one moment in the trailer went super viral. I mean, everything about the movie was just going viral with ease. They didn't even have to try. Um, Editing Geek says, not gonna see it in IMAX, but it's cool it's getting released. Yeah, I know. Green Otterbox says, yes, it's never too much pink. Okay, so there's one person who's gonna go back and see it. Some of you are considering it. Alright. So some of you are saying yes, like Fairy is saying yes. Natania's also saying yes. Margot, a fellow Margot, says, I most see it, haven't seen it yet. Oh, you haven't seen it yet, Margot. Are you saying most who haven't seen it yet? Okay, that's what you're saying. Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, I think this will be the time. Because obviously I feel like this movie was made for IMAX because it's so big and gorgeous and beautiful, so it kind of sucks it didn't get to play there, so I'm happy that it's getting re-released in it. I think this is at least a positive development for now. Amy says, what's the difference between IMAX and normal screen? IMAX is a lot bigger screen, it has clearer image, it has like deeper pixels. It's just a better overall experience. I also find that the theater is usually cleaner and nicer, like the seats are a lot nicer. It's just IMAX are much like they're a premium experience compared to a regular theater. If you haven't done IMAX, I highly recommend it. The Modern Designer, again, thank you so much for the super chat. Really kind. Oh, you want a poll? Okay. Would Barbie have made 1 billion if it was aimed at kids? That's a great question because you're right. Barbie was definitely aimed towards millennials and probably Gen Xers as well. Really the ones, adults who played with Barbies when they were little kids. That's who Barbie was aimed for. It wasn't really aimed for kids, so you're right, Modern Designer. I'll do that poll right now. Why not? I'm gonna say yes, and then no. Alright, asking the community. What do you guys think? I actually think, I think yes, it could have, but I think it would have been a very different movie. I think, honestly, I think it could have made more. Because I think the main draw of this movie is the concept of the whole doll brought to life. Like, kind of like life size, but in this big Barbie world. I think the visuals were a huge draw. I think the cast was a huge draw. And really the only thing that made it, like, more adult was that they had some like adult jokes in there, and of course they made it so that it was spoiler. By the way, we're about to get into a bit of spoiler territory with Barbie, so just pause or mute for a second if you don't want to hear spoilers. But the fact that they made it America Ferrera, who's the one that's playing with the Barbie and not her daughter, like if they just reversed that, there's only like a few things they would have had to change about this movie to make it more for kids. So that's why I think it probably still would have done well. In fact, maybe it would have done even better, because maybe more kids would have been able to see it. I don't know. What do you guys think? My opinion may affect the poll. Possibly. What do you guys think? Okay, so 57% of you are saying no. You agree with me. 44% of you are saying yes. So you do think that Barbie would have made 1 billion. So most of you actually disagree with me, though. So maybe I didn't influence the poll. Because you think, no, it wouldn't have made a billion. Why don't you think it would have made a billion if it was aimed at kids? I'm curious to those who answered that way. Joshua Munn says kids are on TikTok not playing with Barbie. I mean, to be fair, I think Barbie actually skewed quite young. Even though it did aim for like an older audience, Gen Z did show up for this movie a lot, especially on TikTok. Like, if you go on TikTok, there's tons of Barbie videos everywhere. Um, Robert Bell says, I don't think kids these days play with Barbie. It's more so for people who grew up in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, I don't. Barbie was actually considered a dead brand or a dead toy just a few years ago. So this movie is doing a lot to revitalize like Barbie as a brand, Barbie as a toy, everything. Um, Maiden says, I feel like it definitely would have made more simply because now adults and children would go see the movie. That's what I'm saying. You would have opened up even more of the audience. So that I actually think it would have made more, but it seems most of you actually disagree, which is interesting. Ending the poll now. It was at 58% to 44%, with most of you saying no. So that's surprising. But moving on, I do want to mention that speaking of IMAX, Oppenheimer has just joined the top 5 highest grossing IMAX movies of all time. Top 5 highest grossing IMAX movies of all time. That's incredible. It's in the same list as Avatar and The Force Awakens. Now, it didn't make anywhere as much as those movies, but it's basically saying that for all the people that did go see Oppenheimer, the vast majority of them saw this movie in IMAX specifically, more so than any other kind of theater. So I think that's interesting. I think that also shows you that the marketing behind this movie worked, because like all the marketing for Oppenheimer was focused on you had to see this in IMAX. So I think that clearly worked, because most of the people who saw it in IMAX, and now it's like top 5 highest grossing IMAX movie. So good for Oppenheimer. Oh, Nicholas Wilson, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Barbie kids movies all went straight to DVD. That's a good point, but those were also animated, and I feel like an animated Barbie movie probably does feel like it skews too much towards kids. I think there was a way to make the live action Barbie movie so that it didn't have to skew towards an older audience as much as it did. That's my argument, but feel free to disagree. Thank you for the super chat, though. Zion Parker says Oppenheimer equals nap time. Yeah, if you guys go back and watch my spoiler review, or I think it was a non-spoiler review, I did mention that I did not care for this movie. I thought it was kind of boring. I do appreciate the artistry and the cinema of it all. It was a very beautiful movie, that's true. It was not for me. I was quite bored for a good bit of it. I just felt like most of the movie took place in a boardroom, and I wish that they had, I don't know, explored other locations more. That was my main issue with it. But I'm still happy that it's doing well, just because I like that this kind of movie is doing well. Yeah, the memes really helped it, that's true. Moving on. Also, good news for everyone here. National Cinema Day is August 27th. And on that day, all tickets are going to cost $4. And they're going to release several different movies, some movies that are still in theaters, but other movies that they're putting back into theaters. And all of them are going to be $4 for just this day only. So I wanted to show you this list here, because now, if you guys were curious about seeing any of these movies, but you were thinking, oh, the movies are too expensive, I can't do it, well, now you can see one of these movies for $4. Anyone going to go to see a movie on National Cinema Day? And if so, what movie would you see? Actually think I am going to take advantage of this. I've been curious about seeing Lady Bird. That's one of those movies I always have been wanting to see, but I hadn't seen yet, so I might see that. But what are you guys going to see? Oh, you're going to see Spider-Verse, Brianna? Okay. Oh yeah, it is just for Americans. I forgot to mention. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, Zion Parker will also be there for Lady Bird. Amy as well. Now, Tanya, I haven't seen Lady Bird, but everyone says it's amazing, so I feel like I have to see it at this point. Margot is going to go see Barbie. Okay, of course, Margot. Amy says, I have never seen Lady Bird in theaters. Yeah, me either. Oh, I'm sorry. It seems like a lot of my international viewers are very jealous right now. I'm sorry. Josh Loves Movie says, I'm working National Cinema Day in the morning. It's going to be more chaotic than last year. Oh, bless you, Josh. Stay strong. Keep your head up. You can do it. I know what it's like working at a movie theater because I did it when I was in college. Especially when you have a really popular movie coming out, it can be very chaotic. So, Godspeed. The cover girl says, I'd support Barbie again. Okay, so it looks like a lot of you might actually go back to the theater. I think I will too. For $4, it's practically free. Like, why not? All right, moving on now to the member question. I did want to ask my members, since Barbie is looking like it could go up to making like 1.4 to 1.5 billion dollars, which is insane. That's around what Top Gun Maverick made, so it's gonna make around the same as that movie. So it's doing extremely well. But as I was mentioning earlier, I've been wondering like what is the next movie that could possibly make even close to the same amount of money as Barbie? So I asked my members on the community page, what do you think is the next movie that can make as much as Barbie? I got some interesting comments here, so thank you everyone here who commented and who's a member. If you want to be a member, please press the join button at the bottom of the screen. But John Mua6256 says, I'm curious to see what Greta Gerwig plans to do with the Narnia series. I'm very curious too, but unfortunately the Narnia movies are going to go to Netflix, so that won't even like have a box office receipt. So it's not going to theaters, which sucks. I really wish Greta would do something that would be like, I don't know, more epic and in theaters. It kind of just sucks that she's going straight to streaming like every other director. Slackjaw thinks that FNAF will. You think Five Nights at Freddy's will make 1.5 billion? I love your enthusiasm for that movie, but I don't think so. Kisaki3953, thank you for being a member, says Shrek 5. Yes, as I said yesterday, unironically, I think Shrek 5 could unironically be a $2 billion picture. I think that movie could be that big. It's been hyped for years with memes and Shrek Fest. Exactly. Think about how the memes helped Barbenheimer, and then multiply that by 10 for Shrek 5, because there's been nothing but Shrek 5 memes for like the past 10 years. I'm telling you, Shrek 5 would make $2 billion. I'm saying that confidently. Anyone else agree with me? It'll be an event, exactly. Okay, Green Otterbox agrees. Frankie wants a snack, yes, $2 billion. I said it with a 2, not a 1, a $2 billion movie, yes. You'll see, even if you disagree, you'll see. It'll be an event for sure. But going back to the member comments, Nicholas Wilson, thank you for being a member, says, it may be a while before we see another hit on that scale. That's what I'm thinking. I honestly think I don't see a ton of movies being this big of a hit anytime soon, to be honest. I think it's going to be a minute. But thank you for being a member. Also, Natanya, you're also in the chat, so thank you for being here. Thank you for always being engaged. You said maybe Shrek 5 again. That's the only one I can think of. Shrek is so inverted into pop culture. That's exactly why I think it'll be so huge. It's part of culture. There's already memes for it. There's been memes for it. And I think it's been long enough since Shrek 4 that the stink of those movies is gone. So I think people are just really excited for more Shrek again. And I think the fact that Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was so good also helps it. Sacred 24 says, I think Wicked will reach a high amount. Yeah, I also think Wicked will be huge. I definitely agree with that one for sure. Sexy Rhino, I like that name. Thank you for being a member, says, Joker Folie à Deux. Interesting. You think, really, 1.4, 1.5? Okay. That has a chance of breaking a billion, yeah. That's all I can think of within the range next year. The next one to reach one such height could be Avatar 3. Oh yeah, Avatar 3 definitely will. I think if Avatar 3 can't break it, that would be embarrassing, since the first two Avatars have all made $2 billion. So yeah, I think Avatar 3 is a given. Unless something goes horribly, horribly wrong. Ian says, I think Dune 2 will be a $2 billion movie. There are no other good movies. I love you're as excited for Dune 2 as I am, but I don't know if there's enough excitement for that movie for it to make $2 billion, but I would love to be wrong. Going back to the member comments, Danny Straight Og, I hope I said that right. Thank you for being a member. Says Shrek 5 again because everyone is going. I've not heard yet one person not hyped. Otherwise, I do not see the potential for anything else. When Shrek 5 makes $2 billion, I hope you guys all remember I was the first one to call it because it's happening. Again, Jal Pedro, again, thank you for being a member, says Shrek 5 for sure. And maybe the FNAF movie. You guys think Five Nights at Freddy's will make 1.5 billion? I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Depending on how it goes with the little ones. Even though I know it's a very popular brand. I don't know. Would you guys say the Five Nights at Freddy's brand is as popular as Mario? Because that's what you're saying. You think the FNAF movie will make more than the Mario movie. But I don't think Five Nights at Freddy's is more popular than Mario. So I just don't see it. Oh no, Whizbang says, what if Shrek 5 is as bad as Shrek 3? I don't think so. If they can make Puss in Boots The Last Wish, they can make Shrek 5 good. I have faith in DreamWorks again. They can do it. Kisaki says not $1 billion, but it'll make a lot of money. What, Shrek 5? Oh, or no, FNAF. Yeah. I think FNAF will make a lot of money, but not $1 billion. That's what I think. Nicholas thinks FNAF is too niche. Yeah, I think it's... I don't think it has the broad range of audience that Mario has. I just don't see it. Even though I know FNAF is popular. But thank you everyone again for being a member. I really appreciate you guys engaging with all the comments and everything in the community page. It really means a lot. Alright, moving on to the strike news. We just have a bit of strike news to go over today. So on Monday, the WGA, which is the Writers Guild, met with the studios to try to renegotiate, but it seems like the studios, again, were not really interested in renegotiating, and again, tried to only push their original counter offer as the deal of the century. Like, you guys should just take this really lame deal that I pointed out like a couple of videos ago, had a ton of loopholes in it. That's why the WGA didn't agree to it. But the studios keep pushing it. They don't want to go further. They still want to use AI, and we'll talk about AI in a second. But I'm updating you guys on the strikes to show you that it's not the creatives, it's not the writers and the actors that are holding these strikes out for as long as they've been going on. It is the studios for sure. They don't really want to offer any real deals. The counter offer that they gave the writers, as I mentioned a couple streams ago, really was just full of loopholes and was just full of a bunch of fancy wording that could get around a lot of stuff that wouldn't have fixed anything. So it just really, really sucks. And I think that these strikes are going to go on for an extremely long time. Nicholas says, I like to believe Fran Drescher forewarned WGA about the studio's dirty tricks. Yeah, the studios keep playing a lot of dirty tricks. They're just showing their hand at how much the studios don't actually respect the creatives, the people that actually make the movies for them. They just they're treating them with such a lack of disrespect. It's pretty sad. Brianna says, we knew the studios were going to try to pull some crap. I know, at this point, are we even surprised? CD Wood says, I love these strike updates. Oh, I'm glad you like the strike updates. There hasn't been a ton of stuff this week, that's why I'm kind of rounding it all up in this video. Jack says, studios starving them out. Yeah, that was their plan. That's what they admitted right at the beginning, that they're just waiting to starve everyone out. Again, they're just saying the evil part out loud. Why would you admit that? That's awful. Margot says, can we kill Hollywood? I think Hollywood is killing itself. I think it's imploding from the inside, so I don't think they need any help. But moving on, you guys did want me to talk about this, but you sort of briefly mentioned it a stream or two ago, but I wanted to talk about it more. Because there was a court ruling that says that AI copyrighted art or that AI art isn't copyrightable. And that's what a judge has ruled, and that's what everyone's talking about now, because they're thinking, oh, well, a lot of the strikes are about AI and its usage of it. But as I tried to tell you the other day, this didn't really faze me much, because this is actually kind of old news. This is actually what the official copyright courts already mandated months ago, so this isn't really new. The studios already knew that you can't just have like full AI art and just like put it out in the world as is. That's why the writers are actually striking. What the studios want to do is have AI like basically print a first draft of a script, so to speak, and then they're going to hire a writer to come in and fix it up so it passes for copyright. And that's what they want to do because they know they can't just have the AI script as is. They need a human to come in and fix it up, make it better, and then make it different enough that it can be claimed for copyright. So that's what the writers are striking over. It's because the studios want to turn the writers into gig workers essentially, where they just come in and rewrite an AI script and then that's it. And that's not really what a writer is supposed to do. A writer's job is not to fix up what an AI writes. A writer's job is to create, their own work from, creativity, their imagination. So that's why people are striking. And I just wanted to bring this up because as it didn't take long for my entire point to get confirmed here, because the Hollywood Reporter just released a whole article saying that the studio's counterproposal to the WGA suggests that very thing that I was just saying, that they would have the AI write the script, and then they would have a human writer basically come in and rewrite it so that it would pass for copyright. So that's what I said in my video like a month ago, and then now we have it here confirmed again. So I love having that confirmation. But yeah, that's why I knew that whole news break the other day about how AI can't be copyrightable wasn't really a big deal because they're already trying to get around that. Loki07, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. How about a Mario and Barbie crossover movie? Oh no, I don't want that. One film, $2 billion. Who has the bigger simp song, Ken or Bowser? I like that. Who has the bigger simp song, Ken or Bowser? I still like Bowser's song better. I'm sorry. I think Peaches is better than I'm Just Ken personally, but I don't want to see a crossover movie. Let's just not. Can we do something else, please? Something original, maybe. I don't know. But thank you for the super chat. Yeah, it is scummy of the studios for sure. Joshua Munn says, well, the WGA rejected a sweetheart deal from the AMPTP. I don't blame them for just going forward with AI. If the writers and actors just want to strike forever, so just go forward with all AI. Well, the reason that the writers and actors are striking is to prevent AI, and we're about to talk about AI in a second. I don't think... The thing is, here's why I think the strikes are going to go on forever. It's because the writers and the actors are never going to cave to AI, and the studios are never going to say no to never using AI. So I think that's kind of where they're at, and why there's such an impasse here, and why I'm very, very nervous that the strike could go on long enough that... Sorry. that the strike could go on long enough that AI could actually get to the point it's so good that you could possibly make AI movies or at least AI shorts. I mean, we've already talked about AI voice actors and how AI voice acting is already pretty good. So it's not going to be long before it's possible to make a full AI movie. If the strike goes on for like, I don't know, a year, as some of you guys think it will, I don't think it'll go on for that long, but even just say a year, I think a year from now, I think the possibilities of what AI can do with filmmaking will already be enough to scare everyone, really. I think people need to make decisions on what to do AI now, because there's not going to be a lot of time to figure out what to do later. I hope that makes sense. Brian, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Did you know Disney released a trading card called Lorsana last week? Lorsana. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. I have no idea. Is that related to AI or anything? I'm sorry, Brian. I don't know how to respond to that, but thank you for the super chat. Whizbang says, I hope the strikes disrupt the big budget industry. Creative forces can just move directly to the internet. We don't need the studios for entertainment anymore. As I've been saying, I think entertainment is going to become more independent and more decentralized, I think that's even a good thing. I don't even think that's a bad thing, but I think it will be very disruptive for the industry for sure. Danny says, not ban AI. We are using so much stuff that AI, it wouldn't be good to ban it all. Um, I don't think it's even possible to ban AI because even if the studios did want to ban AI, they can't ban the people. Like, they can't ban, like, the average Joe Schmo on the street from using it. So if the average person who lives in the middle of nowhere, who only has, a computer desktop at their house, can create a movie that looks like it could be a Hollywood blockbuster using only their computer for, like, I don't know, $20 or however much it's going to cost, that's who the studios are also going to have to compete with in like 5 years. So even if studios don't want to use AI, they're going to have to eventually because they're going to have to compete with everyone. And that's what I think that's why I think we shouldn't be asking these questions in terms of should we use AI? I think we should be asking, okay, we know AI is going to be used. How do we make sure that we all get compensated for our work when our image or voice or whatever gets used? Because it's definitely going to. I think we need to start thinking proactively and not thinking like, oh, how do we prevent this? Because personally, I just think the cat's already out of the bag. But that is my personal opinion. I know that could be very controversial. Um, Danny says, I was responding to the comment that said government should ban AI. Oh, okay, that's fine. Sorry about that. I am getting to the AI section in a moment, but I did want to bring this up. So it looks like A24 is quickly becoming like a bigger and bigger deal in Hollywood. It's already gained this sort of reputation for having like really slick auteur directed films that for some reason like young people really like. I think it's because like I know when I was in college, like my film teachers, they had us watch a lot of A24 movies and had us study those movies in college and like in those classes for different assignments and stuff. So I'm actually wondering if that's partially why A24 has such a young audience, because I feel like a lot of A24 movies are being taught in college right now, but that's besides the point. Anyway, A24's future movie Priscilla is actually being allowed. It's getting a permission. They're getting permission from SAG to actually allow their actors to promote the movie because A24 is one of the few studios that actually agreed to all of SAG's points in the negotiations. So SAG is allowing A24 to basically run as normal, uninterrupted from the strikes because they agreed to whatever SAG wanted. So I think that's pretty interesting. I think that shows you that A24 is like becoming the most probably creator friendly studio in the entire industry. So good for A24. I see their power kind of growing, to be honest. I think that we're probably going to see more A24 like studios pop up that are more creator led and more independent led as A24 kind of is, as they just let their creators do whatever they want. I think this is a really huge win for A24, and I think this is a huge sign of where the industry could be going, or at least I hope so. A Real W says I never heard of A24. They have a lot of good movies. You've heard of Everything Everywhere all at once, I'm sure. That was their recent big movie that did really well. They have a lot of huge movies they've done. Of course, I'm gonna draw a blank everything that they've done. Let me look it up. A24 movies. Yeah, they've done a lot. They've done The Whale. That just recently got nominated for a ton of Oscars. They just did Past Lives that came out this year that got a lot of buzz. They've done a lot of stuff. Maybe not a ton of stuff that everyone has heard of, because again, a lot of these are smaller movies, but usually when they release something, they tend to get a lot of critical acclaim. That's what they're known for. Amy says, will movies this year not get any promotion? Not the ones that are being released by the studios that are being striked against, so which is the majority of them. A24 is one of the few studios that's actually standing with SAG. That's why they're allowing their movies to get promoted. Um, yeah, Beau is Afraid is another movie that they recently did as well, or released. They don't really produce movies; they just distribute them. Maiden says, why don't the big studios want to accept the offers and actually give people the amount of money they need? What are they planning to do with all their money? It's just there, just there at this point. I think the studios are being greedy, as Fran Drescher said. I just think they want all the money for themselves. I think, also, it's one thing. There's greed. That's the one thing, but there's also another thing. I think streaming is a disaster, and I think it's losing all the studios so much money, and I think that they're not making as much money as that they hoped they would, and I think that there isn't as much money to go around as there used to before streaming took over, so I also think that's an issue. But I also think it's just greed, to be honest. Jorge Barrios, thank you so much for the super chat. Again, very kind. Why didn't they use Austin for this? Austin for what? Oh, for the Priscilla movie? This isn't connected to the Elvis movie. This is a completely separate Elvis movie that actually is based around Priscilla. So we were already getting like sort of an Elvis cinematic universe, but they're not directly connected. But thank you for the question. Moving on to entertainment news, though. Just wanted to give you a few updates on the strikes, since I know you guys like those. Oh, that was, why am I just not getting the updates? Alright, anyway. Do want to go to this first. Ryan Gosling just, uploaded his rehearsal for his I'm Just Ken performance in Barbie. I won't play the whole thing, but I just think it's really lovely. It's got 17.1 million views, so it kind of went super viral here on Twitter. Yeah, not really news. I just think it was a really fun video, and you guys should definitely check it out. It looks like they had a lot of fun time. They had a good fun time rehearsing this. I really loved the dance sequence. The dance part of the movie was one of my favorite scenes in the whole film. But yeah, just wanted to show you guys this, show you that it exists, because it's beautiful, and you guys should definitely watch it. Moving on. Also, Zack Snyder. So I don't know if I have any Snyder fans in my audience. I haven't seen them. I haven't seen any diehard Snyder heads or anything, but Zack Snyder is having a new movie he's releasing called Rebel Moon. It's coming out on Netflix, so not theaters. He wants this to be his version of Star Wars, which is very, very interesting because he actually tried to make this Star Wars officially, but then they basically rejected him. So then he went to Netflix and was like, I'm going to make my own version of Star Wars. So you can actually see in this trailer that there's even characters that are carrying around what looks like lightsabers and very Star Wars looking objects. So it's like his version of Star Wars essentially, but I know a lot of people are very excited for it. Is anyone excited for Rebel Moon? Laura B says, I listen to I'm Just Ken almost every day. I love that song. I was just listening to the song this morning. It's a good song. Josh Loves Movie says, Rebel Moon is being split into 2 parts. Yes, it is. Are you looking forward to Rebel Moon, Josh? Nicholas says, I thought the I'm Just Ken number was fun and hilarious for the first time, but then it hit me in the feels the second time. Right? Because you get the layers behind the song the second time, right? Okay, Slackjaw is very excited for Zack. Okay, so you're just excited for this just because of Zack Snyder? Oh, I'm glad you like my show, Jax. Okay. Oh, you want a poll for this? Let's do a poll. Who's watching Rebel Moon? Yes, no, and then a third option for I'll wait to see what word of mouth is. Wait for word of mouth. Alright, asking the community. Josh Loves Movie says, yes, I hope it's worth the wait. I know. To be honest with you, I'm not, super hyped about it, but I am curious just because I think Zack, whether or not you like his movies, I think he at least makes interesting films, at least creatively. I think he's one of the few directors out there that has, a very distinct voice that when you see a Zack Snyder film, you definitely know it's a Zack Snyder film, so I'm curious to see what a Zack Snyder-esque Star Wars film would be like. That's kind of why I'm interested in it. So it looks like, oh no, 45% of you so far are saying no. Interesting. Not interested at all. Although 32% are saying you might see it, but you're waiting for word of mouth. I think that's pretty fair. 26% are saying yes, you're highly interested in Rebel Moon. So maybe you're Snyder fans or you liked his DC work, I don't know, but you're curious. Okay. Honestly, I think this is pretty decent for him. I think 26% saying you're definitely going to watch it, while 30% are at least curious and going to wait for word of mouth is probably the best he's going to hope for. So good for him. Good for Zack. Moving on, though. Now we're getting to the weird Zachery Levi stuff. Again, he just says like the strangest stuff and somehow goes viral for it. So let's just go over what he said this time. Zachery Levi said he would be open to returning as Flynn for a live-action Rapunzel, because we've been talking about that Disney might actually make a live-action Rapunzel, and that they're mainly looking at Florence Pugh for playing Rapunzel, which I think is a mistake. That would be a trip because my real last name is Pugh, so you'd have a Pew Pew in Tangled. It's a lame dad joke. It's not even worth getting upset over. But I think it's just funny that he's trying to cast himself in this movie. He's like, oh, I can play live action Flynn. If Florence Pugh can play Rapunzel, why can't I be Flynn? And honestly, to be fair, I think Florence Pugh is so miscast as Rapunzel. If they do cast her, they might as well cast Zachery Levi, because I think that would be not good casting. But what do you think? Who would you guys even want to see play Flynn? Jojo Rod says Zachery's an android. Maybe he's a lizard person. Yeah, he's definitely too old, Margot. Oh, Prince think his pew pew joke is funny. Well, there you go. C.D. Wood says this man just loves to bring attention to himself. I think that's what he's doing. He's just saying whatever to get attention and it's working. I think that's what he's doing. Josie says, I think it could be interesting, so I think I will watch Rebel Moon. Okay, so one person who's interested in Rebel Moon. Aaron Taylor Johnson, Ryu. Interesting. I don't know about Aaron Taylor Johnson. Maybe. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. I'm with Eric, thank you. Harry Styles. I think he would be a great Flynn. Genuinely. Not just because I'm a fan, because I think he would genuinely be a good Flynn. But I know you guys are going to say no. Marco is saying Zayn. Maybe Zayn. Lumi also agrees with Harry. Thank you. Laura B says, I love Zachery, and he did a good job in Tangled. He did do a good job in Tangled. But I think they could. I think they should give a chance to someone new. Yeah, I think he was great for the part as a voice actor, but I think he's far too old for the role now. C.D. Woods, you're wrong. You're just wrong. All right, moving on. Riverdale has finally come to an end. Now, I've only seen like a few episodes of the show. I have not kept up with it, but I know it's been a juggernaut for like, I think like the past 10 years or something like that. I feel like the show's been on for forever. So the fact that the show finally came to an end is like, wow, took forever. But you guys will never guess how the show ended, and I'm about to spoil it. So if you don't want to know how Riverdale ended, just giving you a spoiler alert right now, because what in the world? They ended the show by putting Betty, Archie, Jughead, and Veronica in a quad poly relationship and called it a day. What do you guys think about that? They decided, why pair them up at all? Why not just put them all in one big relationship? We don't have to decide. We don't want to make the fans unhappy. So we're just going to put them all in a relationship together. So that's how the show ends. Does anyone does anyone else think this is crazy like I do? I just think this is like, what, really? This is the best they could come up with to end this show? They're all in just some like weird quad poly relationship now and they just called it a day? This show is like peak ridiculousness. But in a way, as this person pointed out on Twitter, I can't tell if this is just bad or if this is just like so crazy genius that it kind of fits in line with the show. So it's like, how else could you have ended this show, you know? Laura B says that's so lame. Yeah, it is. Oh, some of you think it's not surprising. Interesting. Yeah, it does sound very Riverdale. Very Riverdale. Hey, it's Polo says, I'm happy that the actors are finally free. I know the actors have been acting like they have been chained to this show for years, so happy that they're free as well. Hayden says, no wonder the writers are on strike. Y'all are so savage. Yeah, it makes sense for the shippers, says Jules. I feel like they did this because they didn't want to make anyone unhappy by, like, pairing them off in, like, ways fans would have been upset with, so they decided to not even, like, deal with that and just put them all in a group together. I feel like that's, like, the laziest way out, but whatever. But anyway, just think it's really funny that Riverdale is finally coming to an end, and this is what they're doing. Moving on. Speaking of a poly relationship, Frozen. I don't know why I said that. There's nothing poly about Frozen. I just needed a segue. But anyway, Frozen is getting a podcast. Interesting. I don't know why Disney's diving into podcasts now, but here we are. And it'll be set before Frozen 3. So after Frozen 2, but before Frozen 3. And it'll be a 12-part series following Queen Anna, who must quickly find out why the spirits of nature are acting up and finds mysterious copper machines disrupting the natural order. I don't know what any of that means. But I think it's interesting that we're getting sort of like a Frozen 2.5 with this podcast. Is anyone interested? You guys didn't like my my segue? Was that too out of pocket? Is anyone gonna listen to this podcast? I think you guys think it's crazy. Should I do a poll? I'll do a poll. Alright. Who's interested in this Frozen podcast? Alright. Yes, no, and then a third option, which is this is stupid. Those are your choices. Okay. Asking the community. Pretty Princess says, wait, I thought it was behind the scenes kind of thing. LMAO. No, it seems like they're actually continuing the story. My guess is they want to keep the brand alive until they can make Frozen 3, because Frozen 3 is probably going to take a few years to actually, like, you know, make and release. But they want to keep the brand alive until then, so they're doing this podcast as a sort of, like, teaser until they can finally give you the next movie. That's why I think they're doing it. Oh, Crystal says, if it's Kristen Bell, I'm into it. Oh, okay, I'm glad you like Kristen Bell. 49% of you in the poll says this is stupid. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. 28% says no, you're not interested. 23% of you actually is going to try it. You know, if you have kids, I bet this would be really, really fun. I bet hearing Anna and Elsa go on an adventure would be really, really fun for kids, to be honest with you. But I also think that this is like, I don't know, kind of weird. But at the same time, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe this is smart, because podcasts are becoming more and more popular. What if it's smart for Disney to start experimenting with different forms of storytelling other than traditional, like, you know, movies and television shows? We've been talking about how a lot of people here in this chat and on online, they watch stuff on YouTube or they go on social media. So what if it's smart, actually, for Disney to start doing more podcasts and other kinds of storytelling? Now that I think about it, it might actually be a good idea. I don't know. Maybe I just convinced myself. Did I have a super chat? I did. Thank you, Angel Barrera. Thank you so much for the super chat. Watch this audio only product go way over budget. Oh, don't say that. Watch it be like some $200 million podcast, because I swear Disney's on some money laundering ish, allegedly. Um, yeah, you're totally right. Watch it go way over budget somehow. Thank you for the super chat. Um, so I'm gonna end the poll now. Prince says, I mean, kids prefer visual storytelling. That's true. I don't think kids really listen to podcasts, so I was just trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. Jordan says, it's actually a good idea, like a storybook. Okay, okay. The cover girl says, I don't listen to podcasts. Honestly, I'm getting more and more into it. I'm kind of getting into podcasts, actually. There's some good ones out there. But moving on. So it looks like Sony and movie theaters are playing around with how to use the space differently. So Sony just came out this morning, I believe. There's a new patent for Sony that would allow 100 people to play a game simultaneously on one giant theater screen, like in a movie theater. So it looks like they're allowing a way for up to 100 people to play a game at one time in one theater on one screen. This could potentially be interesting if they want to use this for, like, I don't know, e-gaming, or someone in the comments brought up, like, maybe they would have, like, some sort of Fortnite event. I don't know. But do you guys think this would be something that would actually gain popularity? Do you see people showing up to theaters to game together? Like, I don't even know what game they'd be playing, but do you even see this being something people would be interested in? Who are the gamers in the audience, by the way? Rhea Rue says, what kind of games, though? I don't know what kind of games. I guess it would really depend on, what kind of games. That's true. Oh, we have a super chat. Thank you so much from Cheyenne Kendra. That's so kind of you. Do you think Elsa will be the new face of Disney? I think they're definitely trying to make her the new face of Disney. She's popular enough that maybe they could do it. Are you saying they should make Elsa the new face over Mickey? Because Mickey's the current face. She's kind of the face of the Disney princess brand. I don't know if they'll make her, like, more important than Mickey, though. I can't see that. But thank you for the super chat. Okay, this seems mixed. Some of you are saying yes. Gianna says it depends on the cost. Okay. Ebon says they'll try it. Elizabeth says, just into RPG. Alright. So some of you would be interested playing games in theaters. Okay. Maiden says, yes, people go to gaming events all the time, even just to watch. That's what I'm saying. I feel like they could really expand this and turn this into something, to be honest. Jorge Barrios, oh, you're so kind. Always so generous on these live streams. Thank you. Does Sony plan on buying empty theaters now? I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if this is the kind of game that could support something like this, but say they did something like this for the new Mortal Kombat game that's coming out. And they allowed, like, a bunch of people to come in the theater and watch a bunch of people play in the theater Mortal Kombat live. Would that be, like, something that people would be interested in? Because I can kind of see it, to be honest. Oh, DIY Girl thinks this is stupid. Nicholas says, sounds chaotic. It could be, it could be. Arvin says, is it like a competition with trophies? Yeah, I've seen some of the e-gaming stuff. I think you get money, you get sponsorship deals. It's actually a really big deal. Hunty says, I can imagine 100 blocks on the screen for each person. I would be too confused and lost. Yeah, how would you even be able to track which one is you on the screen? I think that would be really confusing. Depends on the game. Okay, but it actually looks like there is some interest in my chat, so that's interesting. I'll keep you guys updated on how this goes, because I actually think this could turn into something, but we'll see. Moving on, it looks like Disney's new Star Wars show, Ahsoka, is actually doing well. It's gotten 84% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. It's actually got, like, pretty good word of mouth. I told you yesterday that I saw the first 2 episodes, and I actually think it was pretty good. As someone who hasn't seen Rebels at all, and to be fair, there was still, like, I felt like there was some background information that I was missing. But overall, I think that the show was actually pretty decent. I think it was better written than a lot of other recent Star Wars shows that we've gotten, like Boba Fett and Obi-Wan. So I think it's pretty promising. It's the first bit of good news Star Wars has gotten in a long time, so I felt like it was worth bringing up. Anyone interested in Ahsoka? Anyone watch it since we last talked about it, or surprised that the show is getting good reviews? Brianna Does Art says, Ahsoka defying all the odds and being decent. I'm amazed. I know, right? That's probably one of the biggest, like, surprises of the year. Ahsoka's actually decent. Wow. Hey, it's Polo says, Ahsoka is an amazing character. Not surprised. Okay. Again, I haven't seen Rebels, so I have no idea, but I like the show, so I'm happy for it. Rhea Rue says, I kind of want to watch it. Okay, good. But Natania's a big nope. That's fine. Nicholas says, we'll always mention that I unabashedly liked Kenobi. Oh, that's fine, Nicholas. You can like Kenobi. It was just not for me. Jordan Davis says, I'm surprised and I might watch it now. Yeah, I'm surprised too. It looks like everyone's surprised here. I think it's kind of sad that we're at the point with Star Wars now where we're like, oh, wait, it's actually good? I'm surprised because we just kind of don't expect that anymore, which is really messed up. But yeah, I will keep watching it. I'll give you a little bit of a review each week as I watch it. I'm very curious. I'm curious to see how the show's going to do in viewership. Like, are people going to watch it? I don't know. I feel like people are talking about it online, but that doesn't always mean people are watching it, like, in large numbers. So, we'll see. Very curious. And, closing out the entertainment news of this live stream, it looks like Disney Plus is actually going to release some physicals. They're releasing Loki and WandaVision on Blu-ray in 4K, which is pretty great. I think that also just shows you how successful these shows were, that Disney felt that they were worth a physical release, which is nice. They're also doing a physical release for Mandalorian, which is cool. So if you're a huge fan of that show, you have that as well. But I think it's nice that they're doing physical copies. I thought Disney was getting out of the physical copies game entirely, so maybe they're changing their mind about that. I don't know. Is anyone going to buy these? Anyone curious enough? Nicholas says, I must be really lenient with Star Wars if I like most of what it's put out so far. That's okay, Nicholas. If you like most of it, that's definitely okay. Oh, Jordan Davis is going to buy the Marvel ones. That's cool. I know, Brianna, they're actually doing physical releases. Can you imagine? Prince says, I think they recreated the animated version to the live action. Oh, you're answering someone else. Jojo Rod, this is neat. Very much agreed. Doesn't look like most of you are going to buy them. I think we're all just like, oh, I'm glad that they're doing this, but I'm not actually going to buy them. That kind of seems like the vibe from the chat right now, which is funny to me. Because even I'm like, I really love WandaVision. Really love that show. Don't know if I'm going to buy the DVD, though, but maybe someone will. Maybe one or two people somewhere. But moving on to the AI news, this is the last section of the day because, oh my gosh, the AI stuff is really taking over fast, like really, really fast. The first thing I want to bring up is this. Listen to this. So, the production company, Bani J, I hope I said that right, Bani J, they're a global production company that has produced big hits like Big Brother and MasterChef. So, they've made stuff that you've heard of, made shows that have been watched by millions of people around the world. So big deal, that this company is talking about AI. But not only are they excited for AI, but they are actively funding new shows to not only talk about AI, but to actively use it. Actively use artificial intelligence. So within the next few years, you're going to see shows on television, on linear TV, by some of the biggest global entertainment brands using AI because they're already working on putting that into development today. So, again, as I've been saying, I think we're past the conversation of should we use AI. I think because we're already using it, I think we need to talk about how do we get compensated for it. Because it's happening quickly. It's kind of crazy how quickly all of this is happening, to be honest. Hilda says, I think AI will eventually make humanity appreciate physical items like this more and more. Yeah, I think that's what I've been saying. I think even just 5 to 10 years from now, I think the human made movies that will do really well will be the ones that will look entirely different than the artificial ones. And that means they'll probably be more physical, meaning they'll probably use less CGI and digital effects. They'll probably have more physical sets and physical props because they'll need to look more physical in contrast to all the digital stuff that we're going to get. That's what I think is going to happen with movies going forward, or at least that's my prediction. Iban says 70 years of sci-fi warning us. I know, right? And they still open Pandora's box. It's like they didn't watch their own movies. Hollywood made so many movies about how AI is going to take over the world. And look at this. They jump into bed with AI at the first chance. Like, what are they doing? Jordan Davis says this is disgusting. It is crazy. Jorge Barrios says this is where Disney hurt itself with streaming. I think how streaming hurt the industry, multiply that by times 10, and that's how much AI is going to hurt the industry. And I think that could still be conservative. I think it's going to completely shift the entire industry around, like, on its head. And I'm not even trying to be alarmist. I'm just being a realist. Brianna Solis, thank you so much for the super chat. Really kind. Will AI be enough for Hollywood to be back on top? I don't think AI will put Hollywood back on top. I think AI will democratize art, or democratize, no, sorry, I need to rephrase that, because that's not what I mean. I think that AI will make it so that Hollywood doesn't have so much centralized, controlled power, because if anyone has the tools to make the same kinds of movies and shows that Hollywood is making, then that drastically takes the power away from Hollywood. So I think that's what AI will do. Happy Meals says physical live experiences will rise as AI does, probably. That's what I think, exactly. Nicholas says absolutely not. AI will sink it even further, even if it use the way the studios want to. Exactly. Even if the studios use AI in the way that they think they'll be able to control it, I still don't think they will be able to, and I still think it will fail for them. And again, I'm not even trying to be like super like doomer about it, but it's hard not to be. I think again, it's you guys will see. I will be charting and I will be updating it and covering this whole AI situation. And a year from now, you guys will see that everything I have been predicting will have been true. You will see. You will see. And then I have one more story that I wanted to cover today. And this is actually about the media, but it's important and it relates to entertainment news because it's about a lot of websites that cover entertainment news. So we're talking the company Valnet, which owns a number of websites you guys may or may not have heard of. So websites like Screen Rant, Collider, MovieWeb, Game Rant, the Gamer website, DualShocker, How To Geek, a number of really high-profile, like, geeky entertainment news sites that I know a lot of you guys have probably seen and have used before. And they also own the comic book resources as well, another big site that a lot of people use. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because apparently Valnet has been firing, like mass firing, a lot of their staff, a lot of their editors and writers in favor of using AI to write a lot of their articles for them. So if you go to these sites, some of those articles may still be written by humans. Not all of them are written by AI yet, but just keep in mind, guys, that a lot of this stuff is getting written by AI now. So you can't always trust that what you're reading on these sites is being written by humans, because we know now from a whistleblower that's exactly what Valnet is doing. So I'm just letting you guys know, because this is real. And the reason we know, as the tweet here says, is because CBR's official Twitter account got hijacked by a former employee who basically whistleblowed on the whole thing and basically said that Valnet is firing everyone and replacing everything with AI. So this is happening. This is real. I think this is I'm just covering it with the entertainment industry because that's what my channel is about. That's what I cover. But I think this is going to affect every industry, and I think this is just the beginning. It's very, very scary. Whizbang says, remember the dead internet theory? Yeah, I think the dead internet theory is about to become even more true because more and more of what you're about to see on the internet will be created by AI and not humans, which is very scary. Have you guys even noticed, by the way? Um, Hold on. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but going to the main shot here. If you guys actually try to look up something on Google right now, it actually has like a little AI generative like prompt question now that it asks you guys. Have you guys seen this? Hold on, where is it? I'm trying to find it. Having difficulties. Because they're already trying to put AI into Google search, which I think is crazy. Again, this stuff is accelerating like crazy fast. Like, what the heck? Um, like, what if I just wanted to put in 2024 movies? Yeah. So I'm just gonna go to the box office. What is it? Okay. So all I did was go to Google and I put in 2024 movies, just a general prompt. And now at the top of the search page here, you click generate. And Google now has their AI bot, whatever, generate the answer to your question. So you don't even have to click on a link or anything or go to any of the websites. AI just generates it for you. Look at this. And this is a very simple question, by the way. So say you wanted to ask it like, I don't know, what movie, I don't know, ask it any question. One best costume at Oscars in 2013. And you get the normal answer that it gives you. I'm just trying to think of some sort of question. But you're also going to get now all of this, where it gives you this AI that gives you this huge description and this huge blurb so you don't have to click on any of the links. I'm bringing this up because I think this AI stuff is going to change how we search. And I think it's going to bring a lot of web traffic down to a lot of websites. And I think it's going to change the entire media industry because they're trying to bring AI into search now, and it sucks. But yeah, I mean, it sucks for the people who run these websites, but I think it could be helpful for us. But I don't know. I'm conflicted about the whole thing. I think this brings a lot of positives, but I also think it brings a whole lot of negatives. It's very oh, Brianna says I hate this. Yeah, it's pretty scary. Has anyone noticed this? Has anyone else updated their Google search? Has anyone else seen this? Um, Whizbang says not even including content you're watching on the apps. Yeah, we're gonna get a lot of just media stratification in general, where everyone's watching content in all places because AI will make it so that everyone can have their own show, their own movie. So no one will be watching the same thing. It's gonna be really sad. Um, okay, so not everyone has this on their Google yet. Interesting. I just wanted to share that with you guys because Google is already introducing AI into their search. So it's happening very, very quickly. Very, 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 very strange. I'm very scared by all of it, to be honest. It's happening like overnight, it feels. Um, but yes, that was the last thing I wanted to share with you guys today. I will answer just a few questions. We actually are already over time. We're over an hour already. So I'm just going to answer like two questions. That'll be at the end of the live stream today. Sorry if I went a little bit too doomer by the end there, but again, I want to update you guys on this stuff because then you'll feel up to date with all of the new technology news. So when, AI takes over the industry, you're not feeling like you didn't see it coming because you guys watched my show and you saw it happen. But yes, any questions? Nicholas says peeps need to take it easy with the AI. I think it kind of feels like Silicon Valley is forcing the AI stuff on us. Like every day it just keeps popping up. Like They really want us to use it. I haven't seen Lady Bird yet, Amy. I want to see it soon, though. I might see it on Cinema Day. Eric says, would you like to see Taylor Swift and Harry Styles in Tangled? I think they're both probably too old for the role, but I think if Disney did cast them, that movie would make $1 billion guaranteed. So, from a business perspective, I think they should do it, but I don't think creatively that would make sense, even though I like Harry in the role. I just think that they're probably too old for it, but at the same time, they would make a killing if they were cast. I'll take one more question and that'll be it. Crystal says, hey Brittney, are you looking forward to the Percy Jackson series? I'm gonna try it. I actually like the old Percy Jackson movies with Logan Lerman in them. This new one looks not as good to me, to be honest. So we'll see. I'll at least give it a try. I'll watch the first episode. But I don't know. I'll let you guys know what I think of it. I'll at least watch the first episode and I'll tell you what I think on the live stream. So please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that live stream. Also, please make sure you like the video. It really does help the channel. I'll see you guys on the live stream tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll probably do an Ask Me Anything because I covered like all the news that there was this week in this one live stream today. So tomorrow we'll have a much more casual, relaxed Ask Me Anything stream. So look forward to that. I'll see you then. And bye. Where is it?